Hello and welcome to another edition of Full Throttle, bringing you the very best of British motorsport from across the UK. This weekend we're on the ultra-fast circuit of Thruxton in Hampshire. We have 3 different classes of racing for you. We will have 2 races from the Carbonate Hyundai Coupe Cup in association with Toyo Tyres, the Lancaster Insurance MG Owners Club Championship, and 3 races for the Caterham Graduates Championship. Always fast, always furious, always frantic and always very close. The first race of the 3 features the Sigmax and Sigma 150 engined categories, and it's Harry Kramer who has qualified on pole with Jamie Winrow alongside. They're both from the Sigma 150s. Harry Senior is on the second row, the first of the Sigmaxes, alongside number 3 of Jim Earlham. Stephen Clark and Simon Griffiths filling row 3. And the fourth row is championship leader Jamie Elwood alongside Kevin Barrett. Matthew Lambert and Ben Winrow fill the 5th row. Then it's Neil Sturgis and Barry White, Rob Warner and Glenn Burtonshaw, then Gideon Wilkinson and Roger Ford, Gareth Cordy and Adam Bettinson completing the first 9 rows. Really, anyone from the top dozen or so, I would say, on this grid could win this. Further back in the order, we have the 10th row, Jonathan Ems and Paul Fielder. 11th row is Andrew Whitton and Chris Savage, then Kim Raymond and John Benfield, Luke Tsuru and Daniel Hamilton, Mark Treadwin and Charlie Cahill. And the final 3 on the grid, Colin Loughlin, Peter Marsh and Rob Appleton. A grid of 31 Caterhams out there for our first race of the day, which will be over 20 minutes. These Ford Sigma engine machines, the Sigmax, the marginally more powerful cars, the Sigma 150s mixed in with them. We'll see the Sigma 135 category out later on, a 2/3 format effectively being used, each of the categories racing in 2 out of the 3 races today. Cars coming out to the grid then. In position, Harry Kramer in the red car on pole, 46 of Jamie Winrow in blue and red alongside him. A slightly damp and slippery circuit. We're underway. Good start by Winrow from the outside of the front row. These Caterham 7s always provide brilliant racing wherever they are around the UK, here with the Caterham Graduates Racing Club. It's up towards the complex the first time. Looks like Harry Kramer has just about got the lead. Simon Griffiths in the black and white car there on the inside, trying for 3rd place side by side with Jim Earlham. We've got a collision further back, and I think we've got a rollover. Goodness me, who's that upside down? I think that's Chris Savage, the number 27 possibly, that's gone over. So that could be a race stoppage. Several cars involved there at the complex, a clash of wheels, and over goes Chris Savage. It's Harry Kramer who's got the lead from the blue and red car. That's Jamie Winrow, Simon Griffiths 3rd, Ben Winrow in the yellow and red car in 4th, but surely there's going to be at least a safety car here, if not a complete race stoppage. Try and see again what happened there. Watch towards the back of the pack. A clash of wheels, a couple of cars went spinning out, and it's Chris Savage who goes upside down. Rare you see rollovers in Caterham racing, but that's what we've seen there. Let's hope everybody's okay. 3 or 4 cars involved at the back of the field in this first race of the day for the Caterhams. They're racing back towards the chicane, but the safety car is going to be coming out. Harry Kramer in number 121, your race leader. Winrow's 2nd and 4th. Jamie Elwood trying to move up on the outside as well, side by side with Ben Winrow into the chicane. Ben goes over the curves, but the safety car is going to be coming out, and we will have the field neutralised. Well, quite a long safety car period there, but we're ready to get back underway with Harry Kramer, number 121, in the lead, ahead of the Winrows 2nd and 4th, Griffiths 3rd, and a good restart there by Jamie Elwood, one of the quickest drivers in the Caterham Graduates Racing Club, moving up the inside as they headed towards Allard Corner. This tremendously quick circuit here in Hampshire, one of the fastest in the UK. Jamie Winrow all over the back of Harry Kramer for the lead of the race, both in the Sigma 150 category. First of the Sigmaxes is Simon Griffiths in 3rd place overall, the number 16 car. Then Jamie Elwood, he's a Sigma 150. And then Ben Winrow, the 2nd of the Sigmaxes in the yellow and red livery. Recognise the classes by the colours on the graphics totem there. The Sigma 150s in blue, the Sigmaxes in white. 4 cars line astern now for the lead as they head round towards the tremendously fast Church Corner. The quickest cars reach 150 miles an hour on this section of the circuit. Out on the far side of the circuit, out in the country, 5 of them with Ben Winrow going at it from 5th position. A small gap back to Matthew Lambert, the ex-Citroën 2CV racer, in 6th position. Jamie Elwood moving down the outside, and a lock-up from Simon Griffiths on the inside as they head into the chicane. Elwood's got all the way round the outside. Brilliant bit of driving to take the lead. Kramer down to second, then it's Griffiths, then the Winrose, then Matthew Lambert, James Earlham, and the rest of them come through. In the closing stages now, Harry Kramer back alongside Jamie Elwood at the front of the field. Going for the lead on the inside as well is Simon Griffiths. Harry Kramer's got the lead as they come into the club chicane. A couple of laps to go this time. Third place is Jamie Elwood, then the Winrose, Jamie ahead of Ben, and 6th is Matthew Lambert, number 26. 7th it is the number 3 of Jim Earlham as they come over the line. Number 1 of Kevin Barrett is next through. Superb racing as always from the Caterham Graduates Racing Club. It's Harry Kramer who has got the lead. Simon Griffiths has come through into second place. They've drafted their way past Jamie Elwood in the black and orange car once again through the complex. Right, left, right again out of Seagrave Corner up towards Noble. Then out into the country once again. Jamie Elwood trying to close up on Simon Griffiths for that second place. Jamie Winrow is 4th. Looks like Matthew Lambert has got ahead of Ben Winrow up into 5th position. Still time for positions to change. Plenty of slipstreaming still to come. James Earlham in his almost camouflage liveried car is in 7th place ahead of Kevin Barrett. Then we got Harry Senior and Barry White, no not that one, rounding out the top 10. Out on the far side of the circuit now, and it's almost 3 wide there for 3rd position. Jamie Elwood side by side with Harry Kramer for the lead. They'll get another lap out of this, less than a minute left on the clock as they come into the club chicane. Kramer on the inside. Winrose are trying to stay ahead of Matthew Lambert. Simon Griffiths has been demoted down to 6th position. Looks like it's Harry Senior that's come through into 7th place. A line astern, 8 of them now around this Thruxton circuit. This is going to be a classic Caterham finish here at Thruxton. Who's going to be leading as they come into the complex this time? And it's still Harry Kramer moving up on the outside in the blue car. That's Jamie Winrow chasing Jamie Elwood. Ben Winrow in the yellow car is in 4th place. It's number 121, Harry Kramer, started on pole, trying to hold his lead, but they say that the last place you want to be in a Caterham race is leading into the last corner, because somebody will try and slipstream you on the run to the line. Out through Noble, then towards Goodwood Corner, and out towards the fastest part of the course at Church. Here is Church Corner. It is still Harry Kramer from Jamie Elwood, then Jamie and Ben Winrow in 3rd and 4th place. Ben Winrow leading the Sigmax category. The clock has counted down to 0. They come out of Church up towards Woodham Hill, then up to the club chicane. Harry Kramer under fire. Jamie Elwood's going to try and slipstream him. Here he comes up alongside as they come up Woodham Hill. Has he got ahead? Yes, he has. Ben Winrow's moving up on the outside as well in the yellow car. It could be 4 wide here into the chicane. This is never going to work. Jamie Elwood's got the lead. Ben Winrow's got round the outside of Kramer into 2nd place. Up towards the checkered flag they come. It's going to be a win for Jamie Elwood in car number 2. Takes the flag just ahead of Ben Winrow, who wins the Sigmax division. 3rd goes to Harry Kramer. We'll confirm the rest of the result then. Elwood from Winrow, Kramer, Jamie Winrow in 4th, Matthew Lambert 5th, covered by less than a second, Simon Griffiths in 6th, then Kevin Barrett 7th, Jim Earlham was 8th, Harry Senior 9th, ahead of Neil Sturgis, and behind them Robert Warner, Barry White, Gareth Cordy, Adam Bettinson and Roger Ford completing the top 15 places. Hardly time to catch your breath during that race. That was brilliant. The rest of the results: Gideon Wilkinson ahead of Paul Fielder, and John Benfield, Glenn Burtonshaw, and the rest of them. Of course, we lost Chris Savage, Andrew Whitton and Carl Laughlin in that pile-up at the start. Fortunately, Chris Savage is okay after his rollover. It's quite superb. Well done to Jamie Elwood, timing his move to perfection there. He wins the Sigma 150s, and Ben Winrow taking the Sigmax division for the Caterham graduates. Next up, we move on to the Carbonate Hyundai Coupe Cup, and on pole position for them is number 88, Alex Kersley, alongside a great effort by 32 of Mark Jones. Alistair Dendy, number 69, starts alongside Wayne Rocket, number 17, on the second row. Third row, James Goodwin and Matt Mitter. Then on row 4, it's karting graduate Ursula Jordan alongside Darren Banks. Michael Evans and Johnny Rocket, son of Wayne, on row 5. Mitch Marie, ex-Fiesta Junior racer, on row 6 alongside Nick Flowers. The rest of the grid lining up in their identical, near-standard Hyundai Coupes. An ideal way to get into saloon car racing if you are a novice. They'll line up for a 15-minute race. Alex Kersley and Wayne Rockets in first and fourth on the grid, the two regular race winners over the last couple of years in this series. Off they go then. Mark Jones in his almost camo liveried car there on the second row of the grid. Good start by Wayne Rocket down the outside. Watch for Alistair Dendy, number 69, in the later shaped Generation 3 Hyundai Coupe. They are underway up towards the complex for the first time, and it is Alex Kersley in the Lancaster Insurance sponsored first generation coupe that leads the way, number 88. James Goodwin coming through into second in number 25, and Wayne Rocket, the man from Hampshire on his local circuit, slots into third place. As we said, Kersley and Wayne Rocket have been doing the majority of the winning over the last couple of seasons in this series, sponsored by Carbonate Lighting and Toyo Tyres. Seen as an entry-level series for budding saloon car racers. Look at the lead that Alex Kersley has got already here over James Goodwin. Third is Rocket, fourth Alistair Dendy. Generation 3 car. These cars built by John Winter, the founder of the Hyundai Coupe Cup. Great fun to race, great fun to be involved in. Battle for second place heads out of Church towards Woodham Hill. Looks like Dendy has got ahead of Rocket up there into third place, and going for second, the later Generation 3 Coupe. Fifth behind them is Mark Jones, and then in sixth place is Matt Mitter, number 10. Side by side, down towards the chicane for the first time. Alistair Dendy on the inside, takes James Goodwin. He's got a little bit sideways through there. It's still a little bit damp out there after the earlier rain. Mark Jones next through, and also up there Ursula Jordan, making her move up from karting over the last couple of years. Then the yellow car is Michael Evans, the number 5 machine. Wayne Rockets, the car dealer from Denmead in Hampshire, tries to draw past James Goodwin on the side-by-side run up through Allard and on towards the complex. Campbell, Cobb and Seagrave, all named after British holders of the land speed record in years gone by. It's Alex Kersley in the Lancaster Bomber, as his car is known. Continues to lead the way. Alistair Dendy trying to chase him down. James Goodwin runs Wayne Rocket out wide there. Mark Jones could move into third. They're almost 3 wide, heading up towards Noble Corner here. And Matt Mitter in the black car. Jordan behind in the blue and white machine there. Then it's Michael Evans. And behind them, Darren Banks, number 27. Terrific racing here for third place. Wayne Rocket hangs on ahead of James Goodwin. First 2 have escaped. There's Michael Evans, the yellow and purple car. Forever indebted to Michael Evans, because at the launch day for this series a couple of years ago, I was able to drive some never-to-be-forgotten laps of the Silverstone National Circuit in Michael Evans' car. Certainly an amazing experience. Michael Evans here on the tail of Ursula Jordan. They're in turn closing on Matt Mitter in the black number 10 car. Jordan up the outside. She's going great guns here. Side by side, Mitter locks up. There's a bit of rubbing there. Jordan's got the place on the outside. Oh, she's lost it over the curve. She's going to spin out. Off goes Ursula Jordan in the 94. Walloped backwards into the tyre wall. What a shame. Out goes the 94 car. That's going to be end of race. She's lost the rear wing there, trying to get going again. Meanwhile, the leaders head up towards Woodham Hill. Kersley being reeled in by Alistair Dendy. Up towards the club chicane with 8.5 minutes or so of this 15-minute race to go. Sky darkening again here at Thruxton. I hope we're not going to have a cloudburst. Third place is still Wayne Rocket, and then Mark Jones, and he spins off. Maybe it is getting damp out there. Out goes the number 32 car. The blue and yellow camo style livery. Looks like some kind of futuristic police car livery, doesn't it, on the 32 of Mark Jones, especially with that insignia on the side. He's got it going again. Well, Alex Kersley pulled away again from Alistair Dendy and is heading for victory, coming round to start his final lap this time as things start to brighten up again this time through here at Thruxton. The Lancaster Bomber is heading for victory, number 88. Last lap board is out. They're coming up to lap number 21 of Kevin Sanford, the yellow car ahead of them. the newcomers this year. Dallard towards the complex. Kersley with a clear lead of 2.5 seconds over Alistair Dendy. They come up to lap Kevin Sanford in the yellow car, previously raced by Barbara Schilliker, among others. Gets out of the way at the complex. It's looking good for Alex Kersley to take another win here. Add to quite a list he's taken over the years. Out through Noble. Wayne Rocket now up into second place. He's got ahead of Alistair Dendy. Maybe the tyres have gone off on the Gen 3 car. It is a heavier car than the earlier Hyundai Coupes. James Goodwin in fourth, then Mitter and Michael Evans. Just a couple of cars hitting trouble in this one. Ursula Jordan and Mark Jones, as we saw. Lost Dan Fletcher, number 75, further back as well. A couple of cars a lap down. Well, Wayne Rocket trying to close in, but he'd have to go like a rocket to catch Alex Kersley on this final lap. Clock has counted down to 0. It is going to be a win for the number 88 of Alex Kersley in the Lancaster Insurance sponsored coupe. Through the chicane for the final time and up towards the checkered flag. Headlights ablaze. 88 Alex Kersley comes in to win the first race of the weekend for the Carbonate Lighting Hyundai Coupe Cup. Second goes to Wayne Rockets. Good run through the field after a slightly slow first couple of laps. And it's going to be Alistair Dendy who completes the podium there. 65 Spencer Hirons across the line, a lap down. In fact, James Goodwin coming in to complete the podium. So Alistair Dendy slowing up in the last couple of laps. Well, the win will go to Alex Kersley. Unfortunately, Wayne Rocket disqualified from second place for a technical infringement. So James Goodwin inherits second ahead of Alistair Dendy. Matt Mitter fourth ahead of Michael Evans and Darren Banks. Then it's Johnny Rockets. Neil Hurren was next home. Behind him was Paul Lorry. Mitch Marie, the young gun. Number 81, John Sheridan. Levi Soski, Roger Owens and Nick Flowers were next. And then Spencer Hirons and Kevin Sanford a lap down, completing the finishers. We lost, of course, Ursula Jordan, Dan Fletcher and Mark Jones. Wayne Rocket disqualified for a technical infringement with the 17 car. Some excellent racing there from the Hyundai Coupe Cup. Great fun from the budget racers. We'll take a short break. Join us back here at Thruxton in a few minutes' time. Welcome back to Thruxton Circuit here in Hampshire on this edition of Full Throttle. It's time to go back to Caterham Racing with their second race of the day, the Caterham Graduates Championship. This time it's the Sigmax and Sigma 135 Championship. The Sigmax cars this time will start from the front of the grid. Harry Senior and Simon Griffiths on the front row. Second row of Stephen Clark and Kevin Barrett. Then Neil Sturgis and Ben Winrow, the earlier class winner, on row 3. Adam Bettinson and Glenn Burtonshaw on the fourth row. Then Gareth Cordy and Luke Zuru. Then Charlie Cahill and Peter Marsh. The less powerful Sigma 135 category start from a separate grid a few seconds after the Sigmax class. So effectively we have got 2 races in one here in this second race of 3 today for the Caterhams. And in the Sigma 135 class, it's James McCall on pole alongside Craig Atkins. James McCall has done the majority of the winning so far this year in the Sigma 135s, with Craig Atkins alongside. Second row, Robin Webb and Mark Noaro. Jonathan Moore and Richard Clegg on row 3, then Neil Evans and Alaric Barney. Lydia Gould starts alongside Aki Hussain on row 5, then Andrew Cooper and Alistair Curry, Adam Harrison and Simon White, and finally Merton Wood and Caterham veteran Michael Segal rounds out the grid. So 2 races in one in this stanza for the Caterhams here at Thruxton, the Caterham Graduates Racing Club. The second of their 3 races today gets underway. The Union flag will then drop to send the Sigma 135s on their way. Simon Griffiths and Harry Senior duke it out for the lead of the Sigmax class, heading up towards Allard for the first time. Trying to make it 3 wide now. I think that's Neil Sturgis trying to come through on the inside. And then the Sigma 135s get underway further back. It's Simon Griffiths who has got the early advantage. Somebody running wide there further back, but has saved it over the tarmac runoff area there. Harry Senior under fire from Ben Winrow. Looks like it's Sturgis that's got up into second position. They string their way out onto the back of the circuit. Number 91 at the back of that group, that's Charlie Cahill, the white and orange car, but it's Simon Griffiths who's got the lead. Harry Senior up into second place in the number 28, and Ben Winrow, the earlier winner of the class in race 1, is in fourth place. Some of these drivers, these ones you'll have seen in race 1, the rest you won't, with each class racing in 2 out of the 3 races today. Harry Senior drawing through into the lead in number 28, ahead of Simon Griffiths. Sigmax cars, similar power to the Sigma 150, so they ran mixed together off the grid, but the Sigma 135's less powerful, so run from their own grid. Simon Griffiths looks like he's going to take the lead as they come down into the chicane in the white car on the inside. Also in there, number 25, Stephen Clark. He had problems in his first race, so looking to make up for lost time. Loses out there to Ben Winrow, though, through the chicane. They're absolutely all over each other. Peter Marsh there a bit sideways towards the back of this group. It's James McCall, the early leader in the Sigma 135s. I'll pick those up shortly because there's frantic racing going on here. 72 of Glenn Burtonshaw side by side with the number 33 of Gareth Cordy, and we've had problems at the chicane. Number 76 there, Richard Clegg, has got some damage as a result of a spin. Rear wings hanging off, but he's keeping it going. Simon Griffiths leads the Sigmaxes, meanwhile, ahead of Harry Senior. Ben Winrow third. Stephen Clark is in fourth place, and at the back of this group, Adam Bettinson. Harry Senior making a move for the lead. They're side by side on the run-up into Noble. Ben Winrow in the yellow and red wants a piece of this as well. Here's a replay of what happened at the chicane there. James McCall with the lead, and contact there for Richard Clegg. That was with the number 60 of Alaric Barney. Should have sent him out wide. Bits of bodywork flying off the 76 car, but he was able to keep going after losing a few places. It's a 20-minute race, 17.5 minutes of it still to go. Harry Senior leads in the number 28 from Simon Griffiths. Winrow is third. Clark and Bettinson fighting it out for fourth. These 5 have broken clear slightly of the rest of the field. Kevin Barrett and Neil Sturgis next in the order. Here comes Ben Winrow on the inside. Looks like he's going to make a move into the chicane. James McCall still leads the Sigma 135. It's hard to know where to look in this race. Ben Winrow has taken the lead as they came through the chicane there. 2 races in 1, impossible to know which one to focus on. Harry Senior tries to slipstream past Ben Winrow as they run towards Allard. Very close between the 2 of them there. Simon Griffiths trying to get involved as well. 3 wide out of Allard towards the complex. I don't think that's going to work. Could be 4 because Stephen Clark is in there as well in the blue car. Bit of a lock-up there from Griffiths. Ben Winrow's got the inside, retakes the lead from Harry Senior. Got somebody else locking up there and going wide in the background. Rest of the midfield comes through. This is the Sigmax 135 Sigma 135 category. Side by side, still low for the lead. You can't take your eyes off this lead battle for a second. Ben Winrow and Harry Senior. Clark is up to third. Griffiths down to fourth. Adam Bettinson, number 71, behind them in fifth. Kevin Barrett, number 1, is next through. Down towards the ultra-fast church corner, almost putting a wheel wide onto the grass there, a couple of them. You don't want to do that there because it's a 100-mile-an-hour spin through the fields if you lose it there. 28 of Harry Senior continues to lead. Ben Winrow lining him up for another move into the chicane. Meanwhile, the battle continues further back. There's Alaric Barney fighting now. This is for third place in the 135 division. James McCall and Craig Atkins fighting for the lead, and Stephen Clark goes to the inside into the chicane. He's going to take the lead in the 25 car from Harry Senior. Ben Winrow can be shuffled back to 5th place. Adam Bettinson over the grass almost there on the inside. Good save, Adam Bettinson. Number 9, Neil Sturgis, the black and gold car closing up as well. Luke Zuru trying to make it an 8-car battle there, the black and yellow. Bettinson side by side with Kevin Barrett in the number 1. There are the leaders in the 135, James McCall and Craig Atkins, nose to tail. They've pulled clear of the rest of that class. Oh, this is great stuff. McCall leads the second group, if you like, the second class in this race. 92 of Aki Hussein being pursued by Andrew Cooper in the number 90. Oh, and there's been a bit of a contretemps among the leaders there. Harry Senior on the grass, heading out of Seagrave Corner. That's going to drop him back to 4th, possibly 5th. Yes, I think that's Neil Sturgis coming through. So it's Clark, Griffiths, Winrow in 3rd. Who's in 4th as they come through there? Looks like it is Neil Sturgis, but it's Stephen Clark with a slight lead now of a few Caterham lengths over Simon Griffiths. There must have been a bit of rubbing there coming out of the complex. Rubbing's racing, as they say. Education Graduates Racing Club. Racing is first class, as we can see. Clark under fire now from Simon Griffiths and Ben Winrow. They're going to try and go up the inside as they come off Woodham Hill into the chicane. They go straight through, and Ben Winrow ambushes Simon Griffiths for the lead. Meanwhile, McCall continues to lead Atkins in the Sigma 135s. Ben Winrow's got the lead back ahead of Griffiths, Sturgis, Senior, Bettinson. Who's that behind Bettinson? I think that's Luke Tsuru, number 36, coming through. Ben Winrow to the inside, holds the lead ahead of Simon Griffiths. Clark down to third. This is terrific stuff, and there's still nearly 14 minutes of it to go. Up towards the complex once again. Ben Winrow in the yellow and red. Number 24 just about holding his lead. Simon Griffiths on the attack. Meanwhile, McCall still leads Atkins. They've been nose to tail all race long, these two in the lead of the Sigma 135 division. Simon Griffiths tries to make a move for the lead as they come up towards the left at Noble. He's going through. Not too often you see moves for the lead there. It's a good bit of driving by Simon Griffiths. Stephen Clark is there as well behind them. Side by side for fourth. Harry Senior fighting back after his grassy moments a lap ago. Paul still leads the 135s. It's anybody's race between 8 cars for the lead overall of the Sigmax category. Simon Griffiths holds the lead. Stephen Clark up into second. Winrow goes down to third. Now here comes Harry Senior in the grey and red car on the inside, fighting back after his brief off earlier on. Luke Tsuru side by side with, I think that's Adam Bettinson for 5th position. Who's going to have the lead as they come into the chicane? 3 wide for 2nd place. Simon Griffiths has the lead around the outside. Oh, something's got to give here, surely. Somebody's going to go over the curbs. It's Harry Senior in the 28s. There's Bettinson, there's Tsuru. Still Stephen Clark now pressuring Simon Griffiths for the lead. Clark goes through as they head over the start-finish line. Winrow in third. Neil Sturgis has come through. Where's he come from? Up into 4th place in the number 9. Bettinson 6th. Tsuru 7th. Behind them 8th is Kevin Barrett. Glenn Burtonshaw making it 9 cars now for the lead in the green machine. All running wide there. I think that was Harry Senior again, possibly. Or was it Neil Sturgis? A bit tricky to tell there. I think it was Sturgis, in fact, who ran wide. Apologies there. Here's the fight for third in the Sigma 135, headed by Jonathan Moore, number 47 in the red car. Cooper and Hussein still together, and Richard Clegg closing back up as well after he's off earlier on. Bits of bodywork hanging off. Moore cuts across to defend from the 34 of Neil Evans. Battles everywhere you look here at Thruxton. Terrific catering race. Here are the leaders. Stephen Clark now in front from Simon Griffiths. Is he going to attempt to move there? No, thinks better of it at Church Corner. Hill once again. This is where they start to slipstream. Senior is third, Winrow fourth, then a small gap back to Sturgis in fifth, defending from Tsuru, then Adam Bettinson. Griffiths to the inside. Look at Harry Senior to the outside. That's a brave move. Can he get them on the brakes? Side by side with Griffiths. He's got 2nd position. Griffiths has the lead. Clark goes down to third. Then it's Winrow. Oh, we've got a spinner. A couple of spinners. Adam Bettinson is one of them. Neil Sturgis is the other. There was some contact there into the chicane. It's 3 wide for the lead coming in towards Allard. Clark on the inside. Oh, Simon Griffiths around the outside. There's contact with Harry Senior. Off goes Griffiths. Off goes Ben Winrow. Oh, disaster for Simon Griffiths into the tyre wall. Ben Winrow gets going again, but I think that's bent the suspension on Simon Griffiths' car. He's crabbing away there. That's going to be end of race, sadly, for Simon Griffiths. What a great shame. Now, who's leading as a result of that? We'll pick up in a moment. Let's see what happened. 3 into 1 didn't go there. Senior in the middle, Clark on the inside, Griffiths on the outside. Thought he'd got ahead. He pulled across too early. Clipped wheels with Harry Senior. That sent Griffiths spinning. Ben Winrow had to spin in avoidance. And Griffiths into the tyre wall backwards and out of the race. We'll pick up the overall leaders in a moment. James McCall still leads the Sigma 135s ahead of Atkins and Moore. There's Atkins in the green car, and they're ahead of a couple of the Sigmax cars as well. Marsh and Cahill. Peter Marsh and Charlie Cahill behind these two. That's the pace that they're setting. There's Adam Bettinson and Ben Winrow recovering from their respective spins. Ben Winrow had to spin in avoidance of Simon Griffiths as he went off there, which has ruined his race. I think your leader is still Stephen Clark. I'll pick that up in a moment. James McCall under fire from Craig Atkins, who's been behind him on his tail all race long and hasn't been able to make a move. Clark and Marsh, Cahill and Marsh, having their own battle behind them there. Sigmax runners. here are the leaders. Stephen Clark from Harry Senior. That's created quite a gap in the field. I think it's Kevin Barrett up to third place now in the number 1 ahead of Luke Zuru. Now we've lost Simon Griffiths and Ben Winrow. Harry Senior, a little bit of damage to the left front. He got away lightly there with that contact with Simon Griffiths. Is Stephen Clark going to hang on here? Another lap to go after this one. It's a battle between the 57 and the 11. 57 Simon White, 11 Adam Harrison towards the back of the field. In fact, they're soon going to be lapped by the Sigmax leaders. Stephen Clark, number 25, looking to make up for a retirement in his first race. Harry Senior, can see that bit of damage to the front wing there. And that contact with Griffiths. Goes the tail over the line to start their final lap. Harry Senior looking to make his move as late as possible to try and ambush the race leader, and meanwhile Craig Atkins now launching his finishing kick, if you like. He goes through into the lead of the Sigma 135 division, but has he struck too early? James McCall will be ready to fight back. He goes for the inside up Woodham Hill towards the chicane. Side by side as they run towards the right-hander of the club chicane. McCall back up the inside, retakes the lead of the class and 10th overall. How far behind the Sigmax cars are they? Quite a few seconds. Cahill and Marsh, the last couple of runners in Sigmax behind them. What's happening for the overall lead in the Sigmax division between Stephen Clark and Harry Senior? Here they come. It's the blue number 25 of Clark that leads. They're coming into Woodham Hill for the final time. Now this is the chance for Harry Senior to make his finishing move. He's up alongside Stephen Clark. They're side by side on the run up towards Woodham Hill, and Senior's through. Now Clark will have to be very late on the brakes here into the chicane. There's not room on the inside. Good defensive work. Oh, Clark's locked it up as that's lost him his chance there. Tries to throw it back through the chicane, wrestles the Caterham through. He's closing up on Harry Senior. They're going to finish, I think, nose to tail. I don't think Clark's going to do it. No, Senior takes the win by a scant margin. Well done to Stephen Clark. Good effort there, shaking his head as he crossed the line. Just missed out. He hadn't locked up the brakes coming into the chicane for the last time there. He might have been able to get alongside. Just that loss of momentum, meaning he missed out on victory by less than 0.2 of a second. Meanwhile, in the Sigma 135 division, Craig Atkins trying to slipstream James McCauley's throwing the car around there as they come up Woodham Hill. Craig Atkins has got the inside line. It's all a question of who's going to be the last of the late breakers between these two. Is James McCall going to be able to hang on? I think he is. Here they come. McCall holds on into the chicane. And Atkins' only hope is he can stay in the slipstream. I don't think he's going to do it. It's going to be a win in Sigma 135 for James McCall. Takes his latest victory, continuing his championship challenge this year. Craig Atkins second and the rest well back. Pause for breath as we check out the result then. Harry Senior the winner by 0.135 of a second ahead of Stephen Clark, and it was Luke Zuru who completed the podium ahead of Neil Sturgis. Fifth went to Glenn Burtonshaw ahead of Kevin Barrett, then Gareth Cordy. Ben Winrow recovering from his spin to take 8th. Adam Bettinson likewise 9th, and James McCall 10th overall ahead of Craig Atkins, winning the Sigma 135 class by less than half a second. Brilliant stuff there from the Caterhams. Sadly, we lost Simon Griffiths, of course, after that tangle going into Allard. Everybody else able to recover. Griffiths, the only non-finisher in that one. Superb entertainment, as always, from the Caterham Graduates Racing Club. And they've got another race to come a little later on. Great finish there as Stephen Clark locked up into the final chicane, through the car, through the chicane to try and get back onto the tail of Harry Senior, but just failed to do so. And a great nose-to-tail battle in the other class as well. On now to the second race for the Carbonate Lighting Hyundai Coupe Cup. The grid based on the finishing order of race 1. So it's Kersley and Goodwin. Alex Kersley and James Goodwin on the front row. Second row, Alistair Dendy and Matt Mitter. Michael Evans and Darren Banks on row 3. Then Johnny Rockets and Neil Hurren on row 4, Paul Laurie and Mitch Marie on row 5. 6th row, John Sheridan and Lee Wysocki. Roger Owens and Nick Flowers on row 7. Spencer Hirons and Kevin Sanford, row 8. The 9th row, Ursula Jordan and Dan Fletcher, who failed to finish in the opening race. Watch out for fireworks from the back of the grid in this second race for the Carbonate Lighting Hyundai Coupe Cup in association with Toyo Tyres, because of course Wayne Rocket was disqualified from race 1 for a technical infringement. So he has to start from the back of the grid alongside Mark Jones, who failed to finish the first race. So, as we say, watch for fireworks, or should that be rockets from the back of the grid this time? 20 Hyundai Coupes out there. This will be a 15-minute race. Alex Kersley going for his double from pole position. James Goodwin alongside. They get underway. Decent start by Goodwin from the outside of the front row. They get underway. There's Mitch Murray in the blue Gen 3 Coupe. It's the car that Shane Stoney, the ex-Mini Challenge champion, used at Snetterton to take a win earlier this season. File their way up towards the complex for the first time. Wayne Rocket's already making up places from the back. Alex Kersley leads a little bit sideways into the right-hander at Campbell there. Second place, James Goodwin. Matt Mitter in number 10 is third. They make their way out into the country. Fourth place, looks like it's the 27 car of Darren Banks. He's made a good start. Already Wayne Rocket is starting to make up the places. There's Spencer Hirons at the back of the field in the number 65. The other blue and white half liveried car there is Johnny Rocket, son of Wayne. You can tell the cars apart by the colour of their mirrors. Wayne Rocket's car has pink wing mirrors. Johnny's has green. Started his career on two wheels in a BMX competition. Johnny Rocket now joining his dad in cars. And there they are, you can see Wayne Rocket up behind Paul Lorry there, the ex-Toyota MR2 racer in the midfield as they make their way through the back section of the circuit. Spencer Hirons at the back looks like having one or two problems with the 65 car. Could be a move on here for second place. Matt Mitter attacking James Goodwin, making a move up the outside. The Value Rater Racing Club car will move into second behind Alex Kersley. Fourth place is the 27 of Darren Banks. He's going well. Then Michael Evans, Neil Hurren. And there is the first of the Rockets. That's Johnny Rocket. There's Wayne Rocket. As ahead of him, Mitch Murray goes over the curb. So does Wayne. Side by side with the red number 48 there of Nick Flowers. Four wide. Look at this down the straight there. Ursula Jordan moving through on the inside, minus her rear wing after that impact with the tyre wall at the chicane in race 1. This is great stuff. Michael Evans has now got himself ahead of the 27 of Darren Banks. Then Wayne Rocket up behind them. Then Johnny Rocket, so farther ahead of son now. You can see son Johnny has got the novice cross on the back of his car. New to racing this year. Three wide on the run up to the chicane. Michael Evans is caught in the middle there. Darren Banks stays ahead, but Wayne Rocket trying to go round the outside of both of them. Got to be very careful on the brakes there. Yes, he's just about got it round on. 27 Darren Banks has lost it. Slides off onto the tarmac, manages to avoid everything. Spins it around and rejoins. Nice recovery. Lost a few places though. There's Neil Hurren at number 87. Another man who began his career racing in Toyota MR2s, as did the prime mover behind this series, John Winter. No contact there we see in replay with Darren Banks. Just lost it under braking at the chicane. Car sliding out onto the infield. It's heading for the runway there. It is an airfield here at Thruxton. Thankfully the car not taking off. 25 of James Goodwin still up there in second, the teammate of Darren Banks. And he's coming under fire now from Wayne Rocket, who has certainly rocketed through the field from the back. Moves up as they come into the chicane. He's going to go round the outside, the number 17. Takes third place away, a little bit sideways on entry. It is still a little bit slippery there. And over the curb goes the 25 of James Goodwin. Have to be careful, he doesn't want to be penalised for exceeding track limits. Keeps the place. Good fight going on between these two. It is still Alex Kersley with the lead. Matt Mitter in second place. They're further up the road. They're about 8 seconds ahead of these two. Wayne Rocket makes the move coming out of Allard. Takes that third place away into the complex. Fifth behind them is Neil Hurren, then Michael Evans. Behind him is Johnny Rocket holding off Paul Lorry, Neil Hurren's old Toyota MR2 rival. Alex Kersley, meanwhile, not shaking off Matt Mitter. This is a good run by Matt Mitter in the number 10. He's right up with him now as they come through the chicane. Matt Mitter in one of the second generation Hyundai Coupes there with the double headlights. Over the line they go. A couple of laps to go. This 15-minute race. Hurren, Evans, Johnny Rockets. There's Paul Lorry in the MSO Web Agency number 28 car. Been with this series for a number of years now. And a lock up there, Alex Kersley sideways. That was rallycross style into the complex. He could lose the lead here, defending from Matt Mitter. I wonder if his tyres are going off for number 88, Alex Kersley. It's a very tough on tyres circuit, Thruxton, a very abrasive surface. And Alex Kersley nearly lost it there. A rare mistake from the Lancaster bomber. He's kept his foot in, he's pulled away. There's a green flag there, so somebody may have gone off somewhere on the exit of the complex, or at least perhaps pulled up. Got a cloud of smoke there from the number 75 machine. That's Dan Fletcher. Problems for the Automobile Smart Repairs team. And he's heading for the pits. Engine failure by the look of it for Dan Fletcher. Less than a minute to go now. They might get one more lap out of this. Alex Kersley has pulled away again from Matt Mitter. It's just between these two now for the victory. I don't think Wayne Rockets is going to make any further progress. Kersley, after that scare at the complex where he got the car sideways in a rallycross style pose, continues to lead. Mitter closing up a little at the chicane. Bounces over the curb. They come up to start the final lap. Still 30 seconds or so left on the clock. And there's Wayne Rocket in the background in third. I don't think he's quite going to catch these two. There's Johnny Rocket. Rocket the younger has now got ahead of Michael Evans. This is the battle for 6th position. Paul Lorry behind them. Michael Evans in the middle, the yellow and purple liveried car. Looks like a Cadbury's Caramel, doesn't it? Always an entertainer is Michael. Began racing alongside his father Alan in these Hyundai Coupes. Matt Mitter continuing to pressure race leader Alex Kersley, but it looks like Kersley is heading for a double here at Thruxton in the Carbonate Lighting Hyundai Coupe Cup in association with Toyo tyres. This circuit's certainly tough on those Toyo tyres. Out into the country they go for the final time. Michael Evans still putting Johnny Rocket under pressure. A great weekend for Johnny. His best results so far by the look of it in the Hyundai Coupe Cup. His first season of racing. He's only a youngster. Alex Kersley is going to make it a double. It's not too often we see a weekend in this series where Wayne Rocket doesn't take at least one win, but problems for him. Disqualified from race 1, had to fight his way through from the back of the field in race 2. He's not going to catch these two. He's come through very well into third, but it is going to be a second win for Alex Kersley unless Matt Mitter can do something special here at the chicane. Right up on the tail of the race leader. He's not quite going to do it. It's going to be 2 out of 2 for the Lancaster Insurance car of Alex Kersley. Comes home to take the win. Second for Matt Mitter, and well done Wayne Rockets. Lights ablaze as he crosses the line, takes third from the back. Fourth is going to be James Goodwin. Here's the battle for fifth. Neil Hurren will lead home Johnny Rockets, Michael Evans and Paul Lorry. There's James Goodwin over the line. Then Hurren ahead of young Johnny Rockets and the rest of them. Well done indeed to Alex Kersley then. We'll confirm the result, and Matt Mitter in fact got a 5-second penalty for exceeding track limits, which drops him back to third place behind Wayne Rockets, so Mitter goes down to third. James Goodwin in fourth place, then Hurren, Johnny Rockets, Evans and Lorry. Darren Banks, after that quick spin at the chicane, goes down to 9th place. Mitch Marie in the Gen 3 car completes the top 10. Ursula Jordan from the back comes in 11th ahead of Levi Soski, then Nick Flowers 13th, Roger Owens 14th, and Kevin Sanford was the final finisher in 15th place. So Alex Kersley completing his double, 10 laps within the 15 minutes there. Very enjoyable race indeed, once again from the Carbonate Hyundai Coupe Cup. Now on to our third race for the Caterhams, the Sigma 150s and the Sigma 135s. Harry Kramer and Jamie Winrow on the front of the grid in their Sigma 150s. Jim Earlham and Jamie Elwood, our earlier winner, on the second row. Then Matthew Lambert and Barry White sharing row 3. Gideon Wilkinson and Roger Ford take row 4. Now on the fifth row, Rob Warner and Jonathan Ems. Chris Savage and Andrew Whitton on row 6, although Chris Savage won't be out there after his earlier rollover. Paul Fielder and John Benfield on row 7. Then Kim Raymond, Daniel Hamilton, Mark Treadwin and Colin Laughlin completes the first 9 rows of the grid, all in Sigma 150s. Sigma 135s, of course, once again start from their own separate grid further back. Cars coming up to the grid then, and we'll check out the second part of the grid. Rob Appleton completing the lineup for the Sigma 150s. They start from their own separate grid a few seconds ahead of the 135s. That's headed up by James McCall alongside Jonathan Moore. Second row, Craig Atkins and Robin Webb. Richard Clegg and Mark Noiro on row 3. Then Neil Evans and Lydia Gould. Alaric Barney and Andrew Cooper, followed by Alistair Curry and Aki Hussain. Adam Harrison and Simon White, and finally Merton Wood and Michael Seagal. Well, Jamie Elwood looking for a second win, as is James McCall. All these drivers in their second race of the weekend. Harry Kramer was on pole and led much of the first race. He's on pole again here as we get underway. Super start by Jamie Elwood as they head up towards the complex for the first time. They're all away cleanly. Who's it going to be? Looks like Harry Kramer has held his lead in the red car. Indeed he has. Jamie Winrow slots into third behind Jamie Elwood. Now the Sigma 135s get underway. 10-second delay for them, and it is James McCall who takes their early lead. Harry Kramer leads through the complex in the 150s. Second is Jamie Elwood, our earlier winner, and it looks like Matthew Lambert up into third position ahead of Jamie Winrow. Possibly that's Jim Earlham there in fifth place, the camo black and yellow liveried car. Out towards Noble for the first time. Jamie Elwood ready to attack, tries to get around the outside there. This dancing pack of Caterhams charges out into the country. 93 Rob Appleton at the back of the first group. Following about 10 seconds behind are the Sigma 135s. They may start to overlap with the lower runners in the 150s as the race goes on, as they start to come into sight, and James McCall already has a clear lead in the 135s. They dart out of the slipstream. Oh, we've had a collision there at the chicane, and that's Craig Atkins, one of the cars involved. Craig Atkins, one of the challengers for victory in the first race for the Sigma 135. So the safety car came out for a few laps to clear up that incident. Now we'll have a look at the race order as they resume. Jamie Elwood has got the lead ahead of Lambert. Down to third is Kramer. It all happened there with the two cars off at the chicane. We've lost 4 cars, in fact, as a result of that incident from the Sigma 135 category. We get back underway. We lost Craig Atkins, Andrew Cooper, Adam Harrison and Michael Seagal. Down the inside, Matthew Lambert takes the lead from Jamie Elwood into the complex. So number 26 of Matthew Lambert goes into the lead. Jamie Elwood in second. Harry Kramer is in third place. Well, Matthew Lambert, who began racing with his father Richard in Citroën 2CVs of all things, in the 2CVparts.com Classic Citroën 2CV Racing Championship. Now racing something a bit quicker. They share this Caterham. It's Matthew out in front. James Earlham in fifth there, heading the second group ahead of number 21, which is Roger Ford. Lambert under fire from the 1-2-1 of Harry Kramer. Jamie Elwood down to third on that restart, rather caught napping as they headed into the complex. Jamie Winrow goes with them, 4 of them fighting for the lead as they head down towards the chicane. Almost 3 wide, could be 4 wide into the chicane here. Jamie Elwood trying his move up the outside there. Kramer could lose third to Jamie Winrow. There's a spin in the background, I think there I caught a glimpse of. Who was that? Great cloud of tyre smoke. I think that's possibly the 26 car there, could have been. No, 21, sorry. Pick that up in a moment. Who's dropping down the timing screen? That'll give it away. Yes, Roger Ford, number 21. It was who spun. As the pack heads its way through up towards the complex once again. It wasn't 26, of course, because that's Matthew Lambert. He's up there fighting for the lead. There's the car that spun, rejoined at the back of that group. It was Roger Ford. Here are the leaders, and it's Jamie Elwood who's gone through into the lead ahead of Harry Kramer, with Matthew Lambert going down to third, and he could lose 4th place here because Jamie Winrow in the blue and red car trying to come through, and he does so. It's all changed there between these 4. Matthew Lambert just losing momentum through there in the first part of the lap. Very easy to do. Has Lambert got a problem, I wonder, because he's dropped back quite considerably there. Yes, I think Matthew Lambert's got a problem. That's a great shame. He was fighting for the lead. Harry Kramer now has the lead in the 1:21 car ahead of Jamie Elwood, car number 2. It's the 46 of Jamie Winrow in third. We've still got 8 minutes of this race to go. Elwood up the outside, he's going to try and take the lead into the chicane. Harry Kramer's having none of it, defends on the inside. It's 3 for the lead now. Up to 4th will be James Earlham in the number 3 car, because I think we've lost Matthew Lambert, unfortunately. 3 cars line astern almost for the lead. It's still Harry Kramer, chased by Jamie Elwood. Still leading the Sigma 135s further back by a very clear margin is James McCall, ahead of Mark Noaro and Neil Evans. They're back in about 17th overall. We focus on the lead in the Sigma 150s. This is where the battle is. Jamie Winrow, number 46, trying to close up out of Church up towards Woodham Hill, and Jamie Elwood moves to the outside. He always does there to try and get the overlap done before the chicane. I don't think he's going to do it though, because Kramer's there on the inside. Look at Winrow trying to get up the inside of both of them. That's a brave move into the chicane. He's got second, but Harry Kramer holds his lead. Jamie Winrow into second place in the 46. Down to third has gone our race 1 winner, James Elwood. Less than 4 minutes of this race to go now, and it's Kramer from Elwood back in second. Winrow has gone down to third. It's between these 3 now for the lead. Earlham is 4th ahead of Rob Warner in the 58s, and McCall still leading the second group, the 135s, as Jamie Winrow up the outside into the chicane. Has he got past both of them? Kramer's there on the inside, but Winrow has done it. Excellent bit of driving by Jamie Winrow, and the 46 car has taken the lead. Now, can he hold off Harry Kramer and Jamie Elwood? There's surely going to be further changes. Kramer to the inside as they go towards Allard. Winrow tries to move to cover. They've got to be mindful that Elwood is there as well. 3 of them throwing these Caterhams around like carts as they head up towards the complex. Once again, James Earlham further back. You can see the gap there back to 4th place. Winrow from Elwood. Then it's Kramer. They're 7 seconds up on James Earlham. 112 Andrew Whitten has now come through into 5th position. Here's a battle further back in the order. The number 60 car of Alaric Barney ahead of 68 Mark Noaro. This is for the runner-up place at the moment in the Sigma 135 division. They're well behind James McCall. Neil Evans also in there in the 34, but still these 3 fight it out at the front of the field. It's still Jamie Winrow who leads the way from Elwood and Kramer. There's a back marker in there for them to negotiate as well as they head towards Church Corner. He gets out of the way. Look at this, 3 wide as they head towards the fastest corner in the country, and Elwood goes almost through the middle there. Brilliant stuff coming out of Church. Kramer second, Winrow in 3rd place. They head up towards the chicane once again. They might get 2 more laps out of this. To the outside, that's Kramer alongside Jamie Elwood, trying Elwood's own patented move up the outside. It doesn't work. Jamie Elwood holds the lead. Takes a bit of curb on the inside. Winrow's looking on from 3rd place. 1 minute 55 left on the clock as they cross the line. They're lapping in the 127, so they'll get 2 more laps out of this on pace. It's still Jamie Elwood who holds his lead. Will it be Winrow, Kramer or Elwood? One of these 3 is going to win this unless they tangle. There's James McCall quietly getting on with the job of leading the Sigma 135s and heading for his double. He's well clear of his opposition in the number 50 car, with Craig Atkins, his main rival from the first race, removed in that crash at the chicane on lap 1. He's okay though, but out of the race. It would have been a 4-way battle for the overall lead. We lost Matthew Lambert, of course. Here's the fight for second in that division. Neil Evans has come through into 2nd place there. Richard Clegg in there as well, along with Mark Noaro in the orange car, Alaric Barney and Jonathan Moore. Great fight going on between 5 cars there for second in Sigma 135. Lydia Gould is next in the order. There's the green car, Neil Evans. Jonathan Moore makes a move at the complex past Alaric Barney in the number 60 car. Jonathan Moore was on the podium in race 1. He wants to be again here. We're in the closing stages of this final race of the weekend for the Caterham Graduates Racing Club, and a terrific weekend of racing it has been. Mark Noaro closing up on the number 34 of Neil Evans. This is for 17th overall, but second in the Sigma 135 division for the slightly less powerful machines. Elwood, Kramer and Winrow are still battling it out for the overall lead. It's Jamie Elwood, I can tell you, who has it at the moment. Mark Navarro trying to close up on Evans. Then in behind them is Richard Clegg. His bodywork repaired after a collision in race 1. Moore and Barney drop back a couple of lengths. Clock has counted down to 0, so we're on our last lap now. Great racing in both classes. Well, all 3 classes here this weekend. Navarro and Clegg move their way past Neil Evans as they go into the chicane, using that line up the outside on Woodham Hill. Track curves slightly to the left just before the chicane, so you can get through quite easily there on the inside. Back with our lead battle then. They're out in the country for the final time. It's Jamie Elwood who has the lead, but is he going to be slipstream? As we said, you don't want to be leading a Caterham race going towards the last corner. Here's Harry Kramer going to make his move. Can Jamie Winrow make a move here? Here comes Kramer. He's having a look on the left as they come up towards the chicane. Winrow is going to try and zap both of them. Look at this, Jamie Winrow. They're going to be 3 wide into the chicane almost there. Jamie Winrow up the outside. Elwood's gone back to 3rd. Kramer is going to try and defend. Banging wheels there for 2nd. Over the curb goes Jamie Winrow over the curb. On the other side goes Elwood. Winrow's going to come through the middle. It's going to be a photo finish between Kramer and Winrow for the victory. Who's got it? I'm not sure. Jamie Winrow and Harry Kramer, a photo finish there. I think on the timing it's showing us Winrow, but that was very close indeed. Jamie Elwood in 3rd. What a terrific finish between those 3. The rest of them come home behind. I'll have to wait to confirm the official result there. Meanwhile, James McCall is heading for another victory in the Sigma 135 division. Let's confirm the result then. The win going to Winrow by 0.031 of a second, and Jamie Elwood only a quarter of a second back. It doesn't get much closer than that. They were 10 seconds clear of Jim Earlham in 4th place, Andrew Whitten 5th ahead of Rob Warner, then Gideon Wilkinson, Barry White, Jonathan Ems and Paul Fielder were next home. Then John Benfield, Colin Loughlin, Dan Hamilton and Mark Treadwin, with James McCall in 15th overall, rounding out the top 15 and winning the Sigma 135 category. That was quite brilliant stuff there. The battle for 2nd in Sigma 135 won by Mark Navarro, who finished behind Kim Raymond. Alaric Barney was 3rd in that division, ahead of Jonathan Moore, Richard Clegg, then Lydia Gould, Neil Evans dropping back in the closing stages, then Aki Hussain, Alistair Curry, Simon White, Rob Appleton from Sigma 150 and Merton Wood, the final finisher. That was an absolutely wonderful race from the Caterham Graduates Racing Club, and more great racing from Thruxton coming up after this short break. Welcome back to Full Throttle here at Thruxton Circuit in Hampshire. Now time for a pair of races from the Lancaster Insurance MG Owners Club Championship. MG's young and old out there, and the grid lines up with Will Sharp on pole position in his ZR alongside Steve McDermott, Jack Woodcock and Mark Grant on the 2nd row. Then the first of the MGFs, Simon Kendrick in 5th on the grid alongside the ZR of Phil Walker. Mark Baker and Paul Wisby, a pair of MGFs on row 4. Then Jim Bainham, the first of the MGBs on row 5 alongside Chris Pollard. David Amphlett and Andy Heitman on row 6. Then Nick Golhar and Anthony Bate in his MG Maestro on row 7. Chris Millard and Greville Dare on row 8. And Chris Flukes and Alan Forster, the former Legends racer, complete the 18-car grid. 4 different classes in this race. Class A for the MGB and MG Midget cars. Then Class B is for the MG Maestros, a couple of them out there. Class F for MGFs and Class Z for the more modern MG ZRs. This MG Owners Club Championship sponsored by Lancaster Insurance for many years, catering for MGs of all ages. A very friendly championship and very action-packed. Great to have them here at Thruxton this weekend. And Will Sharp, a long-time MG racer in pole position, former MG Midget competitor, is on pole. Steve McDermott, who had a string of victories at the start of the season alongside him, and it's a great start by McDermott, a poor start by the pole sitter. He'll drop back into the pack. You can see there the more modern cars mixing with the classics in the midfield. It is Steve McDermott who leads. Somebody on the grass there, the orange car of Mark Grant, drops back down the order, started on the second row, but he's near the back. Even a couple of MG Maestros out there, Alan Forster there at the back. Steve McDermott leads the way ahead of Jack Woodcock, a newcomer to racing this year. And it's the number 83 of Phil Walker in third place, the silver and green there, the colours used by the MGs in British touring cars in the early 2000s. Will Sharp down to fourth, then Mark Baker in the blue car, the first of the MGFs. There's the classic shape of an MG Maestro. There was a time in the 1990s when the MG Owners Club had full grids of MG Maestros and even a couple of Montegos as well, would you believe? Classic cars further back, led almost as always by Jim Bainham, car number 2. He's won this championship more times than anyone else. It's a class-based championship, so a chance that he can win the overall title this year. It's Steve McDermott, the leader of the points in Class Z, who leads the way ahead of Woodcock and Sharp. The 3 ZRs lead the way in this 20-minute race. Phil Walker, Mark Baker, and the number 42 of Simon Kendrick in the Tiger Stripe liveried number 42 MGF VVC. The inside, Will Sharp could take second place into the chicane. He does so, under braking on the inside. There's Jim Bainham, car number 2 in his famous MGB, leading number 14 David Amphlett in the A-class category, Class A for Abingdon, where these classic MGs were built in Oxfordshire. Leaders head out through Allard for the second time up towards the complex. Great to see such a variety of cars. There's Bainham. It's reckoned that that MGB has completed more races than any other MGB in the world. Quite a remarkable statistic. Will Sharp closing up on our leader, Steve McDermott here. Jack Woodcock, the young gun, in third place in the white car. Sharp moving to defend from him there in the Wayside Racing number 66. Scrapping here between the ZRs at the front of the field. Phil Walker in fourth. First of the MGFs is next. That's Mark Baker in the blue car, holding on Simon Kendrick. Paul Wisby is behind them. Will Sharp really putting McDermott under pressure here. They've been pretty much dividing up the wins between them, these two, in this 2021 season. And moving to the inside, they head towards Church. I don't think he's going to get through there, Will Sharp. It's a brave driver who makes a move for the lead at Church Corner. And Steve McDermott does hang on. You can see the colour codes used for the classes there. Class A in blue, B white, F yellow and Z pink on our graphics. As Steve McDermott holds the lead, heading into the chicane. There's Baker, the leader of the MGF category, ahead of the slightly newer MGF VVC of Simon Kendrick. Tries to get into the slipstream there of Phil Walker in that bigger ZR. First half a dozen have broken away from the rest of the field. Next in the order is Paul Wisby with his MGF. There he is. Next through is Jim Bainham. He's got the number 60 of Andy Heitman behind him. That car will be driven in race 2 by former champion Fergus Campbell, sharing the car, 2 drivers this weekend. Still Steve McDermott who holds the lead. Starting to heat up now for 4th place. Mark Baker and Simon Kendrick into the slipstream of Phil Walker. Here's Jim Bainham, Jim Basher Bainham, car number 2. It's ahead of Andy Heitman. Then it's the number 14 of David Amphlett. Chris Pollard, number 28, third in the MGB category, Class A. No MG midgets here this weekend. It's the ZRs still out in front row as we normally see it. Will Sharp has now taken the lead from Steve McDermott. Here's the battle between Simon Kendrick and Mark Baker. Kendrick now ahead into 5th place. So Will Sharp now up front, battling it out with a similarly liveried car of Steve McDermott. Mark Baker out of the slipstream retakes Simon Kendrick, and Kendrick seems to be slowing up there. The 42, I wonder if he missed a gear perhaps. Here are the leaders, Sharp from McDermott. And McDermott fight back here. They're coming up to lap the number 70 of Anthony Bate in his MG Maestro. Jack Woodcock has dropped back into 3rd place now in the number 24 car. Maestro gets out of the way at the complex, lets the leaders through. Will Will Sharp who leads the way. Steve McDermott trying to fight back as the sky has darkened again here at Thruxton. Hopefully conditions aren't going to deteriorate in the closing stages of this weekend. On they go towards Noble, then Goodwood, and out into the country once again. Jack Woodcock, a rather lonely third now. Still Mark Baker who leads the MGF category. He's battling with Phil Walker. Class A still being led by Jim Bainham, and Class B by Anthony Bate because his only rival Alan Forster, the other Maestro, who's raced things as diverse as Legends cars and Formula V single-seaters of the past, has retired. Two leaders together. They'll have one more lap to run. Will Sharp, number 66. Steve McDermott in second place. They've divided up the wins between them so far this season pretty much. Coming up over the line once again. 1 minute to go. This will be last lap for Will Sharp. Can he hold off Steve McDermott for victory? Well ahead of Jack Woodcock in third. Oh, we've lost Mark Baker there. Number 53 has had a spin. Manages to get going again. Let's see how that's happened. The back end just got away from him. Just couldn't quite save it there. So Phil Walker will go through into fourth place. He just avoids going off into the long grass there on the infield. That's heading out into the country. He was heading into the country there, wasn't he, Mark Baker? But he has got it going again. He's only lost one place because Simon Kendrick is there behind him. We saw Simon having a spot of bother himself earlier on. I think he missed a gear coming over the chicane. But it's just between these two for victory, and it looks like it is going to be Will Sharp in the number 66 MG ZR 170. Coming round towards the checkered flag this time. Steve McDermott, his only hope is to do a Caterham style move into the chicane, I think. In towards Woodham Hill for the final time. An MGB ahead of them waiting to be lapped. There's Mark Baker. Not only has he recovered from that spin, he's still leading the MGF class ahead of his rival Simon Kendrick. Here come the leaders into the chicane for the final time. Will Sharp just has to be careful on the brakes here as they lap the number 9 of Chris Flukes in his MGB. No problem at all through the chicane there. He's going to hang on for victory. Will Sharp in the number 66. Comes up over the line, moves across to his team on the pit wall, takes the win. Steve McDermott second. And well clear of Jack Woodcock, who will come in third place. There is Woodcock over the line, over 10 seconds in arrears. The MGF class is going to be won, I think, by Mark Baker, despite his spin. He's managed to hold off Simon Kendrick. Yes, here he comes. Now, where is Kendrick? Has he been able to move up on him? When he's there behind him, he's not going to catch him, though. Good recovery by Mark Baker after spinning a couple of laps from home. He'll come in fifth behind Phil Walker in the overall classification to win Class F. Class B will be won by Anthony Bate because his rival Alan Forster failed to finish. And here comes Jim Bainham. I've lost count of the number of wins and class wins he's had in this championship over the years in this now legendary MGB. He's coming in for another class victory here in 11th overall. Jim Bainham does it again. Let's check out the overall results of that first race for the Lancaster Insurance MG Owners Club Championship. Will Sharp, the winner by half a second ahead of Steve McDermott. They were some 11 seconds clear of Jack Woodcock in third place. Phil Walker taking fourth ahead of Mark Baker and Simon Kendrick, the top two MGFs. Third in that group was Paul Wisby. And then we've got some more ZRs. Mark Grant recovering from an off at the start, ahead of Andy Heitman and Nick Golhart. And then we've got the Classics, headed home by Jim Bainham. Chris Pollard in second, ahead of David Amphlett. Then Chris Millard with Anthony Bates a lap down, completing the top 15. And he wins Class B for the MG Maestros. The other finishers behind him were Greville Dare in his Gulf-liveried MGB and Chris Flukes. The car we saw being lapped at the very end of that race, Alan Forster, was a non-finisher in his MG Maestro. So well done indeed to Will Sharp there. He'll aim to make it a double in race number 2, which will be another 20-minute affair. Dermot will be aiming to challenge, though. watch out also for Fergus Campbell, who will take over the car of Andy Heitman for race number 2, where unfortunately the rain is coming down. Looking at the grid for this one, Sharp and McDermott on the front row, Simon Kendrick and Jack Woodcock on row 2. This grid set by the second quickest times from the qualifying session. Phil Walker and Mark Grant on row 3, then Mark Baker and Jim Bainham on the 4th row. Paul Wisby and Chris Pollard filling row 5, then David Amflett and Nick Golhar. Chris Millard and Anthony Bates on row 7, ahead of Greville Dare and Chris Flukes and Alan Forster at the back. Alongside the car number 60, it's not Andy Heitman this time, it is Fergus Campbell. With the change of driver, they have to start from the back of the field. So watch for Fergus Campbell at the tail end of the field in this one. Wet conditions. Fergus Campbell is a former champion. He won it in the days of the Maestros, if memory serves me correctly. He's down there towards the back of the grid. One non-starter, Alan Forster's Maestro, is not there. 17 cars on the grid then for a very wet second race for the MG Owners Club Championship. Great start through the middle by Simon Kendrick. Good start by Jack Woodcock. A poor start by Will Sharp. He's dropped back into about 5th position. It's Steve McDermott who will have the early lead. And already Fergus Campbell is making up a whole swathe of places. Look at the way Campbell's come through there. He's up into about 7th place already as they reach the first corner. But it's Steve McDermott. You can just about see him through the rain, who leads the way into the complex. Jack Woodcock is in 2nd place. Simon Kendrick with a good start into 3rd. Will Sharp, the pole sitter, down to 4th. Phil Walker rounding out the top 5 as they splash their way out of the complex. The heavens absolutely opening before this race. Tiptoe their way around, just getting used to the conditions. There's Paul Wisby, car number 8, ahead of Anthony Bate in the Maestro. He's just got to keep going here for a class win because Alan Forster, a non-starter. Out on the back of the circuit then, Jack Woodcock being challenged for 2nd place by the number 42 of Simon Kendrick, the leading MGF. But it is Steve McDermott who leads the way. Who's that coming through? Is that the black and yellow car? Is that Fergus Campbell already challenging the leading group, or is it Nick Golhar? He's got a similarly coloured car as they come up towards Woodham Hill. It is Fergus Campbell. He's already on the tail of the first 4 cars here. He's challenging Will Sharp. Yeah, that's the number 60 car, Fergus Campbell. He started at the back. He's going to be in the top 4 by the end of lap 1. Showing just why he is a former MG Owners Club champion. There is Campbell in the car driven by Andy Heitman in race 1. Oh, and Jack Woodcock sideways there. You can see how wet it is at the chicane. He's held 2nd though, but it's Steve McDermott with a clear lead. Woodcock 2nd. Kendrick 3rd, leading his class. Then it's Campbell. 5th is Sharp. Then 6th, Phil Walker. 7th is Mark Baker. So I wonder they can see where they're going out there as the rain hammers down. Steve McDermott with a fairly clear lead over Jack Woodcock, but the fastest man on track, quite obviously, is Fergus Campbell. Barely see them at the complex through the rain. Steve McDermott makes his way through Seagrave. Campbell is now going round the outside of Jack Woodcock. He's going to be in 2nd place after 1.5 laps here. Is it going to be Campbell through the yellow and black car in 2nd? Yes, it is. Well, Fergus Campbell, how long before he catches our leader? McDermott, you have to wonder. He gained 13 places on that first lap. Now trying to chase down Steve McDermott. There is Campbell, headlights ablaze. They've all got their headlights on in these conditions, and off track there was Jack Woodcock running wide. Now, was that spray I saw as he went onto the grass, or was it smoke? Has Jack Woodcock's engine failed? I think that was smoke I could see there. So he may have lost the number 24 car. There is Woodcock, he's still going. Oh, he's got flames underneath the car there. It was smoke I saw. No smoke without fire, as they say. Jack Woodcock, he hasn't realised the car's on fire. He needs to pull that over. Yes, he is pulling over. Is he perhaps looking for a marshal's post there? He's pulled over well off the circuit behind the barriers. The car on fire underneath. That's end of game for Jack Woodcock. He needs to get out of there pretty quickly. Yes, he's doing so. Must have been going on for a while. You can see the marshals with the red and yellow striped flag. That means slippery surface. Even more slippery with oil from Jack Woodcock's car, probably. blown engine for him, and he's out of the race. There's Jim Bainham, out for a Sunday afternoon drive in his MGB, whatever the weather, leading his class as always. He was beaten to the class title a couple of years ago. Chris Pollard, his main rival in this one. Jim Bainham doesn't contest every round. Oh, and talking of Chris Pollard, he's off. He's in the tyre wall. Commentator's curse for him, unfortunately. Sorry, Chris. That's end of race for the 28 car. He must have hit a wet patch and gone off. Safety car is coming out as a result of that. After a few laps behind the Ford ST safety car there, it is Fergus Campbell who has taken the lead while all that was going on ahead of Steve McDermott. It was only a matter of time before he took Steve McDermott for the lead, and Campbell takes off into the lead once again. He's just moving up to challenge when Jack Woodcock's engine let go behind them, and Chris Pollard also went off. There's Mark Grant, number 46, with his ZR. A little further down the order in this one, but it's Campbell that leads, McDermott in second place, Will Sharp in third. He's got ahead of Simon Kendrick. Oh, and Will Sharp's going to go straight on at the complex. I thought he was going to hit the back of McDermott there. Thank you very much, says Simon Kendrick. Retakes third place in the MGF. Fighting Mark Baker for the class lead here. Behind them is Phil Walker in the green and silver car. And then Mark Grant in the orange, number 46. Mark Baker heads the next group. As the green flags wave on the first lap of this restart following the safety car period. There goes Fergus Campbell. He was almost in the lead from the back of the grid on the first lap. Took the lead just before the safety car came out, and he's way out in front. Began his career with an MG Maestro before switching to the ZRs. Taking it as carefully as he can there. Excellent drive by Fergus Campbell. The novice cross on the back of the car is for his driving partner Andy Heitman, who was out in the first race. Will Sharp now up into second. He's got ahead of Steve McDermott. Simon Kendrick and Phil Walker attacking as well. Just a couple of minutes just over for this race to go. Kendrick up the inside takes Steve McDermott into the chicane. Mark Baker behind this group as well. A couple of laps to go for Fergus Campbell. Now Sharp in second, McDermott down to fourth behind Kendrick. We could have an MGF on the overall podium here. Steve McDermott does not seem to like the wet conditions here. Fergus Campbell certainly does. He's away in front ahead of Will Sharp. So a rather damp conclusion to the weekend here at Thruxton for the Lancaster Insurance MG Owners Club Championship, but the drivers making the best of it. Certainly one of the friendliest championships you could encounter on Britain's race circuits. Looking further back, Anthony Bates still leads the B class. Class A still led by Jim Bainham, his main rival Chris Pollard now out of the race. Second in that class it is David Amphlett, and third, number 11, Chris Millard. One minute to go here at Thruxton. They should get one more lap out of this. Fergus Campbell from Will Sharp. Can Sharp get a second win here and try and catch him up on the final lap? It's looking unlikely. Fergus Campbell absolutely flying in his ZR. Nobody else within sight as he comes up Woodham Hill into the chicane. He will get one more lap of the Thruxton circuit here on this damp Sunday afternoon. MG's sadly getting the worst of the conditions this weekend. Swings it through the chicane. There is Jim Bainham, still leading Class A, battling with the 46 there of Mark Grant with his ZR. So Jim Bainham up among the modern cars. Chased there by Paul Wisby in the MGF, so all the classes together in the midfield. There's Anthony Bates in his Maestro. He's quite well up actually, in 7th place. Good to see the Maestro going well. Mark Baker closing on Phil Walker. This is the battle for 5th position. Mark Baker hoping to avoid a repeat of his spin in race 1. We're on the last lap now. Fergus Campbell is not going to be caught by Will Sharp. There's Bainham coming through to start his final lap. Just needs to take it easy here, and he's got yet another class win under his belt. He's ahead of Paul Wisby. There is number 14 of David Amphlett, second in the A for Abingdon class with his MGB Roadster. Behind him, Nick Gollard, another long-serving driver in this championship. Also previously raced in a Maestro back in the day when Fergus Campbell was regularly winning races with them. Another driver to regularly win in the Maestro days was Jim Edwards Jr., who went on into British touring cars for a couple of years in the days of the production class. It's Fergus Campbell cruising to victory here at Thruxton. Started from the back row of the grid, having taken over the car from Andy Heitman. Gained 13 places on lap 1. Was in the lead by about the fourth lap after the safety car came out. And now he is coming up to take the win out of the chicane for the final time. Victory for Fergus Campbell here at Thruxton, the Lancaster Insurance MG Owners Club Championship. Almost made it look easy. Second place is going to go to Will Sharp, and Steve McDermott and Mark Baker still duking it out. So this is for fourth place, I think, out of the chicane there. It's Baker who takes the place, and Phil Walker's dropped back as well, so maybe he's had a moment on the final lap. He was fourth, he's down to sixth. Here's the Maestro. Anthony Bate, a fine seventh place, and he's going to win Class B. Great to see a couple of Maestros still racing in the UK. Could we see a Montego back out someday? Who knows? Simon Kendrick won the MGF class in third overall, and it's going to be a win in Class A once again for the great Jim Bainham. Paul Wisby behind him. There's Nick Gollard. And the rest of the classics coming home. Mark Grant dropping back in the closing stages as well. Bainham leads home Class A. Ahead of David Amphlett and Chris Millard. There's Greville Dare just behind them in his Gulf liveried car as well. We'll check out the result of that one, our final race of the weekend. Fergus Campbell the winner by over 6 seconds ahead of Will Sharp, and Simon Kendrick third overall, winning Class MGF. Mark Baker fourth in that last bend sort out with Steve McDermott. Phil Walker dropping to sixth. Anthony Bate wins Class B in seventh. Jim Bainham Class A in eighth. Then Paul Wisby and Nick Gollard round out the top 10. 11th for David Amphlett ahead of Chris Millard. Then Greville Dare, Mark Grant and Chris Flukes completing the 15 finishers. Of course, we lost Jack Woodcock with engine failure. Chris Pollard went into the tyre wall, and Alan Forster a non-starter. But a very enjoyable weekend of racing, to say the very least. Great racing from the Hyundai Coupe Cup and the Caterham Graduates Racing Club as well. That's about all for this edition of Full Throttle. Thank you very much for watching. Join us for more great motorsport from around the UK soon. It's goodbye for now.